right, so we're parting the veil of reality, and Bingle Beastfoot finds himself in his lodge on the Caden Mountains. Bingle, you are a ranger of the people of Marin. You are charged with protecting the passage of the Twin Peaks, which is nestled to the northern parts of the Marin lands on the Caden Mountain Range. It's a passage that borders between your lands and the city of Halen Way. It's not a particularly well-traveled road. You are one of the newest rangers in your squad.
One could say baby-faced.
You are a sweet, sweet baby boy.
Sweet baby Bingle.
In this new life experience that you're having. But it is an important job, and like you stay watch over the lands. I'm gonna give our listening audience kind of just a really quick word picture of what the layout is like. So the Twin Peaks is bisected by a road, which is the only passage for miles on this stretch of the Caden Mountains. On either side of the mountain range, there is a watchtower and a lodge, which is charged with protecting it. Each tower and lodge combo is occupied by two rangers. Today, it is occupied on your side, the southern side, the Marin side, by yourself and your ranger squad mate Laud. On the other side of the mountain, I fucking bake it in deep. Wait till you listen to Sean's episodes. On the other side is your other more senior rangers, Erickson and Derrickson. They're two brothers who watch over the north side. You were always kind of trained and just sort of inherently know that.
Now, when you say brothers, they're not blood brothers.
They are blood brothers, Erickson and Derrickson, yes.
They're my brothers.
No, not your brothers, no. They're just, like, you're not related to Laud either. Like,
okay, no, I thought you said they were my brothers. And I was like,
no,
Bingle
they are
doesn't
brothers
have
to each
any
other.
brothers.
Give us a little rundown of how Bingle got here, by the way, just as like a brief aside.
Yeah, I suppose I should tell you who I am, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that would make sense to go up top, wouldn't it?
No, I think it's fine here.
Okay, cool. My name is, my character's name is, I'll be playing the part of Bingle Beastfoot. Bingle he's a gnome. He's very small. But Bingle doesn't know he's a gnome, because when Bingle was a wee little baby, he was, one could say kidnapped, some other people might say rescued, by some cultish dwarves, who came down from a mountain. They decided they wanted to live on their own. They found a little baby Bingle. They picked him up and decided to raise him as a dwarf. And so little baby Bingle, baby boy, he's only 18. He's fresh-faced, man. But he's ready to learn, but he's doesn't know much yet.
You were conscripted into the military when the guards from the city of Breakwater, which is the capital of Marin, came to your little group of dwarves who left the Caden Mountains, sort of to go off and set off on their own path.
Yeah, basically the Beastfoot clan wanted to be just that. They wanted to be their own clan. And so in their quest to go out, but they're very weird dwarves because they don't want to live in a mountain. They want to go live in the middle of a forest, which is strange for mountain dwarves. And so they went out and they raised Bingle as such, and then when it got to the point, they didn't realize they were on someone else's land. They just thought they were living on their own in the woods, and then when the Lord came and said, we need someone to come and do this, they were like, well, just take Bingle.
Yeah, like they've been making money, like selling the lumber and stuff to the local lumber lord, who the lumber lords are kind of like the ruling populace of Breakwater and therefore of all Marin. And they, like this group of, multiple races, but this group of people kind of have the land all split up. So you've been sort of your family has been sort of unknowingly serving these people, and to any other Marin official, are directly contracted by those people. But they came and they took you, and here you are, a humble gnome who thinks he's a dwarf.
Yeah,
he's ranging for the good people of Marin.
Yeah, so Bingle learned how to use a bow and arrow at a pretty young age. He always liked to talk to little animals like squirrels and birds. Likes to chat with them. They're his only real friends. He's always felt a little misplaced, obviously, but never with the little critters.
Sure. A forest gnome, true and true.
Oh, he is, but he has no idea.
No, he doesn't know why he has like minor magical abilities, like being able to cast minor illusions and
see in the dark.
He can like talk to animals.
Although
and
his
stuff.
Dwarves can see in the dark too, so he just thinks he's just small for a dwarf. He just thinks he's small for his age.
Yeah, he's a very, very small and thin dwarf.
Yeah, with a rockin' mustache.
Oh,
because his dad said he wouldn't be a man unless he had facial hair. He wouldn't be a manly dwarf, so he grew out a mustache for his dad. Yeah.
And that kind of brings us up to where we are today. So you're on watch. You actually just got back from your tour of duty at the watchtower, and Lod actually decided that there needs to be a resupply, so he headed south, which is pretty unusual because the rules are you're supposed to keep somebody in the watchtower at all times, but it's kind of known that like your side of the mountain is not really the concern. Like you're not worried about people leaving as much as you are about people coming in, and that's sort of what the other watchtower is for. So you guys like not necessarily clown around all the time, but like the fact that he's walking off isn't a huge deal. Right. And you just got off of your watch on the watchtower, so like you don't need to be up there. So you're just chilling out in your cabin.
Okay.
So it's lightly snowing. The Caden Mountain Ranges is a pretty wintry area. It's currently, your post is currently surrounded by a pretty sizable forest, with a riverbank to the west, that flows down to the crossing, which heads deeper into Marin's lands, where it starts to get a little more populated before you get to Breakwater. But why don't we start off the rolling pretty heavy tonight? Let's get a perception check. You're chilling out and just sort of hanging out in your area, but let's get a perception check.
A D20?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna actually roll my physical D20 here.
Okay, you're gonna have some stuff you're gonna add to that.
This is actually so dope. My birthday is 11/11, and my very first roll of this campaign is a sweet 7. I'm joking, 11. It's 11.
It's 11. So you take +4.
Okay, so 15.
15 total. Okay, so with a 15, you're sitting in your lodge, which, by the way, it's like this really nice sort of log cabin out in the middle of the woods.
Is it warm?
It's warm. Yeah, you got a fire going.
Right. Okay.
You're comfortable. Like, it's well supplied. Even though it isn't a huge outpost, Marin is a very rich nation, since it controls pretty much all of the lumber market, and it all kind of comes in and out of Breakwater. So you're well supplied. You're hanging out.
Bingle's favorite food is rabbit jerky.
Rabbit jerky.
Yeah.
So the little animals you can talk to, you take them apart.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can. They're my friends, but guys, a Bingle's got to eat. You
definitely have.
A dwarf's got to eat.
That's right. A dwarf wouldn't care about the life of some little rabbit.
Yeah, that's what my dad told me.
Oh yeah, you've got some for sure.
Nice.
You
that's
get
how
a little,
it reminds
little
me of
pack
home.
full. Yeah, definitely. You're chewing on some of that. But you actually hear quite the commotion coming from outside. With a 15, you can hear the low grunts of a humanoid's voice, along with some wolves.
Ooh. Okay. Now I'm good at tracking beasts. Now, do I recognize anything from the sound of these wolves? Do they sound like wolves that I would have seen before?
You can tell just because like you're inside, and it is very faint, but you can tell that there may be like a half a mile away.
Oh, okay. So they're not right on my ass.
Oh no, it's like it's very far away.
Okay.
But like you are sort of out in the middle of nowhere, so like sound travels pretty far. Yeah.
Well, I don't think Bingle doesn't take much notice to it.
So you're just like, you hear these noises, you hear like the humanoid.
Oh, there was a humanoid sound too.
Yeah, so it's the grunts of like a humanoid and then wolves.
Suppose I should go check that out. Bingle should go check that out.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna leave your
yeah. Well, I'm gonna
post?
I'll grab my bow, my long bow, which I'll have on me. I'll grab a piece of my jerky and I'll just sort of meander out there.
All right. So you're gonna head out there with like no particular like speed or agency?
No, I'm just gonna head out and take a look-see.
Okay. So like your brief military training and like how adept you are at being in the woods, you can tell that it's gonna be about a 10-minute stride to just about where you think the sound came from. Like it was very far off. And you're like that would be your best guess. And it is to sort of the southwest that you heard the sounds from.
Okay. Yeah, I head towards it.
Okay. So you're gonna like what kind of pace are you taking? Are you gonna like just walk out there?
Just a nice walk towards it. Just a good brisk. For such a small person, Bingle actually has an abnormally wide stride. So,
yeah.
His normal walking pace is actually not so bad.
Yeah, and as a ranger, you are in your favored terrain of the woods.
Do I see any tracks? Do I see any tracks of any kind?
Not on your way.
Okay.
You could roll a survival check on your way over there to like specifically look for them, but just inherently moving through the woods, like you don't notice anything super stand out.
Got it. I rolled a 4.
So you roll with a 4. You don't notice anything particular, but just like
I don't even survive with a 4. Bingle just dies.
Bingle has died. Well, that's the episode, everybody. But what's happening is you're very distracted because the sounds are getting closer. And like that's sort of taking.
Do they sound like distressed or humanoid? Does it sound distressed? Like
it sounds at this point, at this distance, just like you can tell there's a confrontation. And what's worse for you, you can actually tell that the grunts may be from a dwarf.
Oh, okay, no. Now that I know that, Bingle, he actually he ups his pace. He starts jogging.
Okay, so you're taking a brief pace, and it isn't long before you come across the scene. Before you, out in sort of a clearing in the woods, you are maybe about half a mile. You're sort of halfway in between the riverbank to the west and where your cabin is. So more sort of towards the southwest. You see a dwarf in gray or dark black leather armor with sort of a deep maroon accent, squaring off against 2 wolves, and he is sporting quite the large hammer. It's this very big maul that he seems to have already put to work on a 3rd wolf who is on the ground next to him. Give me how are you approaching this situation?
Well, now that I see it's a dwarf.
You're still pretty far out from the situation, so if you wanted to take a stealthy approach, that's an option to you.
No, I want to. Now that I see it's a dwarf, he needs my help. He's one of my kin, so sure. I need to go and help him. So as I'm running towards him, I want to yell to him.
Okay. What are you gonna yell?
I'm gonna do character voices for this campaign, Mott. Just warning you and the listeners.
I'm fucking ready.
All right. Bingle yells. I gotta think about what Bingle will say to his. Oh God! Voices. I'm gonna help you out. It's so nice to see one of my own kin out here. I'm gonna help you out, brother. Don't worry, I'm coming.
The dwarf sort of like he acknowledges that you're there, and he sort of gives like a nod, and then he's gonna move in to swing at one of the wolves. I'm actually so you're gonna enter into initiative here.
Oh, right on. I got a 5.
You got a 5?
Bingle's hitting it. Bingle's hitting it.
You do get an initiative bonus for that. But,
oh shoot. Let's take a little look.
Look on your character page for a quick second.
+4. I got a 9.
So you approach the battlefield here, and the dwarf is still squaring off between the two wolves. You see the dwarf sort of pull out his like really large maul, and he's gonna take a pretty hefty swing at one of the dwarves sort of lying in wait. So he hits the wolf and does some damage. Okay. So that's going to end his turn. So next, the wolves are, circling this guy at this point. They're actually going to go on either side of him and take a swipe. The first one goes to try and bite. And the dwarf kind of just puts up his arm and catches the bite at first, but very quickly just throws the wolf off. And the second goes in immediately after and manages to get a pretty solid mark on him. Does some damage.
Where does it bite him?
What's that?
Where does it bite him?
It bites him on the leg, and actually is going to attempt to try to pull him down.
Okay.
Ooh, and the dwarf actually falls flat on his back and is prone. But that brings us to you.
Okay. I'm going to draw my bow.
Okay.
And I'm going to take aim at the wolf that just pulled him to the ground.
Okay.
Rolling a d20 here. I rolled a 2.
Okay. So, 2. What do you add
hold
to
on.
that?
+4, 6.
Okay. So your arrow goes wide. But the...
Sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'll get him on the next one.
The dwarves seem pretty unfazed by your presence. You're still quite a ways away. You're at about...
used to people not really noticing him.
Sure.
He's like 3'2".
Yeah, you're about 50 feet away from them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're
not
even
visible
far
to this man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they're kind of fighting in a clearing, so you're maybe right at the wood's edge, sort of shooting out arrows, but
right.
You do actually miss. So that brings us to the top of the order. The dwarf is gonna, get to his feet, and take a swing at the wolf that pulled him down. Nails it.
That's my boy. That's what dwarves can do. You know what I mean? Bingle is very impressed.
Okay, so that wolf kind of has a good chunk taken out of him as he feels the blow of the hammer hit down sort of onto his chest area, but he's still kicking. The wolves again are going to strike in this pincer action. The first is going to actually strike from the back, the one who the dwarf hit first. So he manages to get a good bite onto his leg and is
the same leg.
Yeah.
Oh man, this boy's leg's getting mangled.
Their game, you can kind of tell, and from just Wolf 101, is they're trying to pull him down and keep him down as long as they can to kind of like even out the fight.
This poor boy.
But the dwarf sort of knows what's going on at this point, and he powers through it. He's able to keep his leg deeply planted into the ground and is otherwise unfazed. But just as he sort of has that minor victory, the other wolf comes to attack and scores another successful hit. And takes, kind of a chomp on his arm. And this brings us to you.
Now, question for you, Mr. Dungeon Master.
Yes.
Do cantrips take up my action?
Yes.
Okay, fuck that then. I'm going to, fail once, try again. Gonna pull my bow out here. Let's give this another shot. I'm gonna aim at that wolf that just bit him in the arm.
Yep, the same wolf who you shot at before.
Yes, that little fucker. Oh! I got a 20.
Is that a natural 20 or a...
No, I think if it's a natural 20, this program would make it green, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's non-natural 20. Yeah, you definitely hit him. Roll damage.
Right on, let's do it. What? 7.
Okay. So after getting ripped off of the dwarf's arm and landing on his feet, an arrow sinks right into the neck, just above the shoulder of the dwarf. Oh God! Of the wolf.
What have I done?
Of the wolf.
Christ!
And it snout down straight into the dirt.
Oh shit!
You have slain yourself a wolf.
Oh yes.
You maybe could have talked to that wolf. How do you feel about that?
I don't talk to large critters. I only talk to my small friends.
I think maybe it's a medium, but that's actually a good point. I don't think you could talk to it. Okay, so that brings us back to, are you moving at all, or are you still staying in the back?
I've planted my feet, my very small feet, right in the ground.
Yeah, so you're sort of hanging out in the back.
Yeah, back in grade school, they called Bingle Turret. They did not call him Turret, but
I don't think he went to school for sure.
He did not go to school. He was raised by a cult of dwarves.
Definitely not. So upon seeing the other wolf fall, the dwarf faces all of his attention on the other wolf, takes a big old swing at that guy, nails him, and just straight kind of an overhand, bringing them all down, just crushes this thing's skull. And it is flat out dead, and you are out of combat.
Heyo. Yes. See, Mott, you tried to fool me with these wolves here, but you can't fool Bingle.
Can't fool Bingle.
Your puzzle was not good enough.
Yep, you solved my wolf puzzle.
As they would say in other podcasts.
By having a dwarf take all of the damage for you.
Yes. Classic.
So the wolves are dead, and the dwarf kind of sits there and starts to gather himself after taking a couple of bites, but otherwise seems unfazed.
Yeah, I'm going to yell to him. Or no, you know what? I'm just going to run towards him.
Okay, so you just run right up?
Yep.
So you're just going to approach the dwarf? Are you going to say anything to him, or are you going to kind of wait to be spoken to?
I really like your hammer.
Thank you. I'm tracking a man who's been in these parts. Have you seen anybody?
There's a road, so a lot of people. See a lot of people. Gonna need you to be a bit more specific.
Well, where are my manners? Thank you for helping me with these beasts. I've been tracking a man, and he kind of takes a seat on a nearby rock and starts to tend to his maul and to his armor, which is not like ruined, but just a little busted up. I've been tracking a man through these parts for the past 2 days. The last I could track him, he was heading north along this western bank, the eastern bank of this river, and that's when I ran into these beasts here. I don't know much about this man other than he's wearing a long brown robe and is carrying a scimitar and an item of value of which he stole from a dear friend of mine.
This guy sounds a little freaky, a little crazy. I want to check to see if he seems trustworthy.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. I got a 10.
You know that dwarves are pretty like gruff. You grew up with them, so like, and you grew up with like kind of weird dwarves, so nothing out of the ordinary to you.
Got it. I trust him. I trust him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, more or less.
Brown robe, you say, and a scythe. Oh God.
A scimitar.
Oh, I totally know the difference between those two things. And he has something valuable.
Yes, a small trinket.
Okay. Well, I guess. I mean, do you need help? I have some tracking skills. I can.
You're one of the rangers, yes?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's my job. That's my name. Bingle is actually my name. What's your name?
My name is Deden.
Deden, like the fabric.
I don't know.
Oh no, that's denim. Yeah.
I don't know if my fantasy world has denim.
Mine does.
I don't know if the jean market has popped off yet.
I had a dream about a fabric that I called that once.
Okay. Strange creature. Yes.
I'm a dwarf.
Yes, I could use... Come again?
The dream? The dream about denim.
Okay.
It's like a fabric. It's sort of between wool and leather.
You can track, yes?
Oh yes.
Okay. Give me just a moment to secure my things here, and perhaps you can help me track this man down.
Where did you get that hammer?
Family heirloom.
Oh, right on. I like it a lot.
So Denon's going to take his time and kind of re-secure his pack. He has just some very light travel things. But with his minor rips and tears tended to in his maul in place, he is going to motion for you to head west towards the riverbank.